Did you know that the Zeus saga is about to begin? Begin? What if I told you that new armors will emerge and that there is a hidden power in the forge of the gods, capable of making even those divine armors from the Elysian fields look like mere paper shields? Maybe the secret to defeating Olympus isn't in the blood of a single god, but in the forbidden union of two deities in a single armor. Hello, knights and amazons. Welcome to our channel. Always wanted to know, I'm Ezzy, and today we're going to explore the craziest spoilers and theories about the Zeus saga, the arc that promises to wrap up the story of our eternal defenders of hope on a high note. Let's analyze the destruction of the greatest symbol of the sanctuary, how the legendary Olympian blacksmith, Hephaestus, will change the game for Seiya and his friends. So go ahead and comment where you're watching this video from, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and let's get into this awesome video. After the turbulent events of Next Dimension, the story shown in the leaked spoilers of the new saga takes us back to Athena's sanctuary, specifically to the enigmatic and once banished 13th house, the House of Ophiuchus. For those who don't remember, Ophiuchus is shrouded in a dark legend. In the mythological era, the knight of this house, Asclepius, possessed the gift of healing and was revered as a god. But his arrogance led him to try to become a real deity, which resulted in his banishment and the complete erasure of his existence from the official history of the sanctuary. It is in this place, filled with residual energy, that Saori Kato, the reincarnation of Athena in this era, finds the goddess's arrow. This artifact is a weapon capable of sending even the soul of a god to Tartarus. When she touches the arrow, Saori experiences a metaphysical shock, recovering memories that had been sealed during her journey to the past to save Seiya from the curse of the Sword of Ares. She remembers in detail the battle against the Knight of Ophiuchus, and she understands that the current threat, coming directly from Mount Olympus, requires measures that go beyond human protection. With a determined look, she heads to the summit of the sanctuary, where the colossal statue of Athena rests. For veterans of Masami Kurumada's work, the statue of Athena is much more than just a stone monument. It is Athena's very own armor. In a latent state since the First Holy War against Poseidon, Athena uses this strategy. The armor remains hidden in the form of a statue until the blood of the goddess herself awakens it, causing it to shrink in size to fit the body of the deity. Without this garment, which has a level of defense equivalent to the armors of the Olympian gods, Saori is essentially a human with a vast cosmo, but a vulnerable body. Saori's plan was simple, to awaken her armor and prepare for the imminent invasion. However, time is not an ally. At the top of the fire clock, danger manifests with the fury of 1,000 suns. The sky above the sanctuary is torn in shades of golden scarlet. Apollo, the sun god and one of the 12 Olympian gods, descends in his solar chariot. Apollo is the personification of divine perfection and disdain for mortals. He is the brother of Athena and Artemis, and his worldview is absolute. Gods are order, humans are chaos, who must be eradicated or subjugated. Apollo is not like the enemies. While Poseidon wished to purify the earth with the flood, and Hades sought the eternal silence of the great eclipse, Apollo seeks direct punishment for the audacity of humans. He possesses such overwhelming power that, in the past, as we briefly saw in Next Dimension, he was able to nullify Seiya's Cosmo with almost no effort. The leaked images show a moment of pure despair. Before Saori can spill her blood on the base of the statue, Apollo intervenes. With a casual gesture, he fires a blast of pure solar energy that disintegrates Athena's statue. The shock is total. The sanctuary trembles. They feel hope slipping away, and Saori stands there in front of the ruins of her only defense. This is the breaking point. Without their goddess's armor, the knights are fighting a losing war. It's the beginning of the ultimate Olympian war, but not everyone on Olympus agrees. And that's where our theory comes in. As we know, in the leaked sketches, a clock with 12 gods was shown. These are the gods of Olympus. So far, the presence of two gods has been confirmed, Zeus and Hera. Most likely, while Apollo represents punishment, there is a deity who observes human resilience with a mix of curiosity and respect. That would be Hephaestus, the god of fire, metallurgy, and the forge. I believe he will decide to go against the will of Zeus. Hephaestus is the supreme craftsman, the being who created Zeus's lightning bolts, Poseidon's trident, and also Hades' helmet in Greek mythology. Although the bronze, silver, and gold armors were created by alchemists on the lost continent of Mu, or Lemuria, using rare materials such as orichalcum, germanium, and stardust. For Hephaestus, these garments are little more than rudimentary toys. He sees the potential of the night's Cosmo and decides that if Athena wants to protect the earth, she needs tools forged by divine hands. Hephaestus then decides to secretly betray Olympus, opening the doors of his divine forge to rebuild the shattered armors of the five protagonists. Here we enter the realm of theory, which is blowing the minds of fans. To understand the magnitude of what Hephaestus is creating, we need to talk about the Kamuis in the hierarchy of armors. The Kamuis is the highest level, the armors used exclusively by the 12 Olympian gods. According to the series mythology, the Kamuis are forged by Hephaestus, and each one of them contains in its metallic alloy the blood of the deity who uses it, which gives them infinite resistance and a shine that emulates the very origin of the universe. The divine armors, or god cloths, that Seiya and the others used in Elysium were only temporary evolutions of the bronze armors, awakened when Athena's blood, contained within them, reacted to Cosmo raised to infinity, or perhaps to the eighth sense. But Hephaestus wants to go further. The theory suggests that he will create a new class of armor, the hybrid armors. Unlike the traditional Kamuis, which carry the blood of a single god, or the common divine armors, which are based on divine blood. Using human metal as a base, the new bronze armors would be forged from scratch by Hephaestus. He would use his own divine blood as the base for forging the metal, and then ask Athena to bathe the pieces with her blood. The result would be armors that have the genetic signature of two deities. This would create a cosmo resonance never seen before. Imagine Pegasus, Dragon, Cygnus, Andromeda, and Phoenix wearing blessed armors, but ones that are made with the blood of two gods. In theory, these armors would no longer depend on a momentary miracle to reach their divine form. They would be divine by nature, capable of withstanding the atmospheric pressure of Mount Olympus and the direct attacks of Athena's celestial angels. Visually, these Hephaestus armors would be a spectacle on their own. Forget the classic and minimalist design. Now let's imagine what each of these Pegasus Seiya armors would look like. The new armor would have a constant pearly shine, with embossed details that resemble white flames. The wings would be larger, made up of strands of light that move according to the rhythm of Seiya's Cosmo. Hephaestus's blood would give the armor a different shade at the joints, symbolizing the heat of the eternal forge. It would be the dragons. The dragon's shield would be fused with the properties of the dragon pearl, thus adding a unique, absolute defense. The armor would have deep emerald green tones, with golden veins running through the scales. It would have a texture that feels organic, reacting to attacks as if the dragon itself were alive. Swan Yoga Hephaestus would use Hell's ice as a component to temper the metal, and the armor would be translucent in certain parts, like ice crystals. But with the hardness of divine orichalcum, the bluish shine would be cut by sparks of divine fire, representing the union of opposites. Shun of Andromeda. The chains would no longer be just physical weapons. They would be made of pure energy, condensed by Hephaestus's blood, capable of stretching across dimensions, and they would detect not only the enemy, but the very evil intent of a god. The color would be a metallic pink, vibrant, almost luminescent. Icky of Phoenix, being the only armor that regenerates itself, would be elevated to its peak by Hephaestus. It would be forged in the core of the divine forge. Its tail feathers would be like blades of fire that never go out. The phoenix armor would be the darkest with a burnt bronze shine, symbolizing constant rebirth through the fire of the blacksmith god. Hephaestus's betrayal will change the dynamics of the war. When the bronze saints arrive at the gates of Olympus wearing these garments, the gods will realize they are no longer in. Apollo? He will be the first to test this new resistance, and the question we started this video with will be answered. In practice, yes, the power of two gods joining forces to forge an armor is the only thing capable of challenging Zeus's authority. The saga of Zeus is not just about battles, it's about humanity's right to exist. With Athena's statue destroyed, the sanctuary may have fallen, but in the heat of Hephaestus's forge, hope is being hammered out. And what did you think of these hybrid armor theories? Do you think Hephaestus will really have the courage to face Zeus to help Sauri? And which of these new armors are you most excited to see? Leave your comments down below because I really want to know your opinion. And of course, thank you for watching the video until the end, and see you next time. Burn your Cosmo to infinity.